I'm Brian Denton. I've been a mortgage lender for a lot of years.
Oh, hi, Brian Denton. I'm Mona Wong. I'm a lion tamer, I'm a mortgage lender, and I'm Brian's best friend.
We're here to make understanding home buying easier. If you're looking to buy your first, second, third home, you're in the right place.
All right, let's do this.
Hey, Brian, I am so excited today. Are you?
I am. What do we got going on in the studio today?
I am so happy to introduce everybody to Melissa Sherwood of Panakio Adjusters. Hello, Melissa.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here because you are truly a unicorn.
That's so nice.
Tell us a little bit about you and your company.
Sure. So the name of my firm is Panakio Adjusters. We are a firm of public insurance adjusters. This was my family's business that was started in 1937. I now own the business with my business partner. We bought the business from my dad years ago. And what we do is we represent the insured, not the insurance company, when there's real estate focused property loss. And by that, I mean a fire, water damage of any sort. There are various kinds. We can discuss that later. Any type of damage that triggers your homeowner's policy, the insurance company assigns an adjuster, and you should never go through this process without your own adjuster, like myself.
I'm going to give you a fun fact. I have turned 25 twice now. And I have owned a home for, over 20 years. And it was not until I met you that I even knew public adjusters were a thing. Like not somebody to help you button up your dress or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Oh my gosh. Brian, did you know what a public adjuster is?
I didn't until I had a leak in my roof in my Florida home.
Oh.
And I had a gentleman in my B&I group that was a public adjuster. I really never knew what they did, but I would never go without a public adjuster again if I had a major claim.
Yeah. And so Melissa, this is where I would love some clarity, right? As a homeowner, and especially for first-time homebuyers and even people who've owned for years, because we always have our misconceptions, right? Because we love those. To never, ever make a claim, right? Because if you make a claim, your home insurance will go up and all of that stuff. So you should never, ever make a claim. When is the right time to call you? Like if my kid shoved like a rubber ducky down the toilet and overflowed, like that's not necessarily when I call you.
These are all great questions and questions that I get all of the time. So, Mona, as you know, my tagline is call me first to take the pain out of your claim. And, you know, I get the question a lot, like, when should I call you? Is this big enough? Does it have to be a major claim? The answer to that question is just call me, because I can tell you whether it's worth your while to file a claim. And in addition to that, whether it makes sense to utilize my service. And the reason why I say that is because we look at the loss and the damage to your home as it pertains to your insurance policy. So what you see and what you're entitled to could be very different things. So the way that it works is the claim has to be an event that triggers the policy. Example, you have a fire. Policy is triggered. All of your coverages apply. You have a pipe break, same thing. If you have a mold issue, that is generally capped per the policy. You could have $5,000 worth of coverage or $10,000 worth of coverage. So in that situation where your coverage is capped, it may not make sense to involve me, but at least I can steer you in the right direction. So definitely if you have a major loss, you should not go it alone. You need a public adjuster, and here's why. When you don't have a public adjuster, the insurance company adjuster will prepare the claim on your behalf and present your damages to the insurance company. if you don't prepare a claim and present it to them. And this is what people don't realize. The insurance company adjuster's duty is to the insurer, not to the insured, who's the homeowner.
So you're saying that the people that work for the insurance are looking out for the insurance company.
Correct. And so what that translates to, if we're going to attach numbers to this, is that if your claim is worth $200,000 and they offer you $175 and you accept it, they have no duty to tell you that your claim is worth $25,000 more because you didn't ask for it.
And you never know unless you ask.
Exactly. And this is where people leave a lot of money on the table, a lot of money, because they don't know how to prepare the claim, and they don't know who to present it to and what the process is. And these are all the things that we know for being in the industry as long as we have, but just understanding the process, how it works, what we can tie to the claim and present to the insurance company in a way that they will accept it and pay for it.
So does this only pertain to damages, or like if Brian like broke into my house and stole like all of my jewelry and my favorite handbags, like would a public adjuster be called for that? So to recoup that, like.
Yes. I mean, it's funny that you bring that particular scenario up because I actually worked on a claim for a client of mine who was she was in real estate, super successful, single, no children, and she had a collection of designer handbags, shoes, and she was robbed. It was a $200,000 claim. And in that, when you have a theft claim, the insurance company goes into full investigation mode. So they want an evaluation under oath from the insured. So we had to sit in a room with an attorney, and they just asked her so many ridiculous questions. And the funny thing about it was, being a woman in this industry, there are very few women that do what I do. So the attorney looked at her and said, I don't understand this. Like, who buys $10,000 handbags, $12,000 handbags? I don't understand. And she said, respectfully, I don't have a boat. I don't golf. I don't drive a sports car. Like, when I get a bonus, I buy myself something from YSL. I go to Gucci. I go to Prada. Like, that's what I do.
I'm with her. Janelle is not cheap.
No, I mean, some of these handbags were like, she didn't have any Birkins, but I mean, she pretty much had everything else.
Oh, thank goodness. This makes me think, like, I remember a few years ago, one of my neighbors had gotten robbed, and like her Chanel's, and some of them were vintage, were taken, and and she probably, and this was before I even knew like somebody like you existed, but that probably would have been a good time to like call you.
If you've been learning a lot from this podcast, there is more to come. So please give us a like and subscribe.
I also had a woman in her mid-70s that was swindled by a younger man who essentially took two pieces of jewelry that were scheduled on her insurance policy, and they were worth like almost $200,000. And he replaced them with imitations.
Oh.
Stop it.
And she realized this after she had ended the relationship. He actually almost killed her. This could have been this could be a book.
This sounds like a Netflix movie.
Oh, Dateline.
Yeah.
She ended the relationship with him, and she went to sell the jewelry, and her jeweler, long withstanding jeweler, said, these are not the originals.
Did they catch the guy?
She took him to court. She did not win. She did not have enough proof. I did get her paid by the insurance company. The settlement was over $200,000, but the insurer had a whole gemology department. Who knew? So we had to send the pieces to the gemology department and they did a full investigation. They had a private investigator investigate my client, who is this lovely elderly woman. It was unreal. It was just unreal.
That's incredible. Like, truly, that's like the stuff that you hear out of the movies. Like, I fear for Brian sometimes that he would get swindled in his old age. You know? You and all your jewels, Brian.
Yeah. Somebody took my Fitbit. How much is that worth?
Somebody took my Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I know, because that's how he knows that he's still breathing.
Let me ask you a question. In your profession, are there people that can be kind of shady and like overpromise and underdeliver? I know in the mortgage industry there can be some shady people.
Oh yeah.
And Mona and I have ran into them a couple times over the years. So can you speak to that? Because I've heard like stories both ways, that you should get a public adjuster, you shouldn't get a public adjuster, because of the people have gotten basically been fed a line of bull. So
yeah. It's a great point. It's an excellent question. Thank you for asking it. It is, because I feel very strongly about this topic. I think there are shady people in every industry. Let's just say that, right? Definitely there are industries that lend itself to shady folks, mine being one of them. And it's certainly a stigma that I have to overcome. But I think what I love about being myself in this business is that I have a very strong sense of what my core values are, and I do not waver from my core values. Those values are empathy, integrity, and professionalism, right? And those are things that I bring to every claim. And we are not going to overpromise and underdeliver. And that's probably one of the most difficult things, because there are so many people in my industry that do that. And I have to be upfront with a client. Like, if you come to me with a total loss and you have limited square footage, I am going to tell you that our biggest hurdle here is going to be the square footage, because you might have $1 million worth of coverage, but if you have a 1,000-foot square home, it's going to be hard to get to that million, right? So you have to educate the client instead of saying, oh, this is a total loss and you have $1 million. That's easy to recover. I mean, it's not. So that's where being very direct and being professional, that's being a true professional, is really educating your client so that you're managing their expectations. I see a lot too where, and this is when people call me, right? They've hired the wrong adjuster. The adjuster gets their first big payment, gets their percentage, and then they ghost the client. And all of the hard work comes after that first payment, because there's so much more to recover. And, we have 2 years from the date of loss to recover anything on the claim.
Oh, I didn't know that.
This can go on for a while, right?
Is there a time, like you said, there's 2 years to recover everything. How, is there a time after what am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
After, let's say after a fire, right? After the accident, whatever the issue is there a certain amount of time from that time before somebody would need to talk to you? Do you know what I'm saying? If I had a fire, do I have to call you within 24 hours?
No. I mean, no, but you should, right? Because the reason why my taglines call me first is because it's just like having an attorney in a legal matter, right? So the insurance company, they will never admit to this, but they are going to treat your claim very differently when you're represented. So the first thing that the insurance company does when you have a major loss or any loss, you file a claim. If it's a major loss, they're definitely sending a physical person out there. Sometimes if they think it's not a very big loss, they might try to adjust it from inside, meaning there's just a desk adjuster that's saying, send me photos, whatnot. But if you have a major, let's use a fire as an example. The insurance company has an adjuster go out to inspect, and at that first inspection, they are putting what's called a reserve on the loss. So they're out there eyeballing the loss to report back to the insurance company what they think the potential payout and claim amount will be for the insurance company. And so they flag it in their system, right? Like, this loss is probably going to cost us $300,000, right? If you have a public adjuster, they automatically know that they're paying more. That's why it's really important in the beginning.
Right, to get you involved.
Yes.
So, like,
Yeah.
okay, a fire, so something as major as a fire, you call 911 and then you call Melissa Sherwood. What if it's like a pipe burst and it's like your basement?
You can call me for that too.
So, but like how soon? Because oftentimes I'll see people or hear people, like, you know, if I'm just talking about, oh, my basement flooded last week and I still need to get in touch with the insurance agency. Like, is that too late to reach out to you? And what if they've already spoken to the insurance agency?
No, so that's fine. Like, we just don't want to get into a situation where you call the insurance company, you file a claim, they come out, they send you an estimate for the repairs, they're paying you 10 grand, you have a contractor come out, and he's telling you it's going to be 70 grand to repair. And now you're calling me. It doesn't mean that I can't help in that situation, but let's go back to the original adjuster who came out and put a reserve on it of 10 grand. So now I'm up against that too, right? And again, it doesn't mean that I can't, there's been a million times where I've flipped that narrative and I do get you 70, right? But it's just that it makes our role that much more difficult. It takes longer. The insurance companies hate that, right? Not that we care what they like or what they don't like. We don't really care, because at the end of the day, they should pay what you're entitled to per your policy that you've been paying for all these years, and now you need to use it. So yeah, I mean, you can always call me. And if, again, going back to my core values, right? I will never insert myself into a situation where I'm taking money out of your pocket. If I can't add value, then I will tell you that.
Can I ask a question? In Florida, there was an issue that everything was going to litigation. Do you see that a lot up here, or is that just a Florida thing where they were paying out so many claims that they were just saying no to everything, and then it had to be litigated or settled through lawyers? Do you see that a lot up here, or is that something that doesn't happen quite often?
So that's what's called reference, our form of litigation in insurance. In New Hampshire, it's called appraisal. In Massachusetts, it's called reference. I believe they call it reference in Florida as well. We don't see as much of that up here. I think you see it more in Florida because, you know, they've had, you know, major hurricanes and they've had so much property loss down there that, you know, insurance companies, obviously, we all know the name of the game, right? That they want to collect your premium and for you never to have a loss. It's like gambling, right? But when you do have a loss, it's all about money. There's no human element with the insurance company. Like, I laugh when I hear like the commercials, right? Like Amica, where empathy is our number one policy, or whatever their tagline is. And it's just not true. I mean, I really would love that to be true, but insurance is all about money. And, you know, there are people that spend their, you know, whole career trying to figure out ways to save the insurance company's money across the board on claims. And there are different tactics that they're coming up with all the time. So it's not easy to take an insurance company to appraisal and win, which is why, because they're very good at covering their tracks. Like, they really have to really screw up. So, you know, our number one goal is to always settle the claim and make sure it benefits the insured rather than the insurance company.
I love that. This is why I love referring people to you, Melissa, because I know that you're going to do right by them. And if it's not the right if there's really no real claim that you would tell them. It's kind of like how me and Brian operate too. Like I know people are gonna say, like, I get trolled on social media, which I know everybody does, but it's always, oh, you're just looking for a commission, and it's like, no, I actually do the right thing. If it's not the right thing for you, I will tell you that, and you operate the same way, which is why I love partnering up with you. So
Also think about it. Her company's been in business since 1937. That speaks volumes right there. So
that was even before Brian was born. Can we just think about that for a minute?
that's when my mother was born.
Holy cow.
I know my dad was born in 41, so I'm like, I know. And now that it's 2026, I'm like, wow, we're going to be hitting 100 years in business.
Oh, that's going to be a big party.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm gonna be there. I'm
Unbelievable.
going to
That just tells the story right
Congratulations.
there. Yeah,
That's
congrats.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks so much, Melissa. I know that we're probably going to have you come back because I do want to hear some of your stories. So please consider coming back and visiting us.
And in the meantime, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Melissa?
So best way to get a hold of me is really just to call me. Call me first. It's Panakio Adjusters. You can Google us. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
So look in the show notes for Melissa's contact, and call her first to take your pain out of your claim. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
So much.
We love talking about real estate, we love talking about mortgages, and we love talking about real life. If there's anything that you haven't heard yet, or if you have any question about something you've heard, drop us a note. hello@homebuyinguncensored.com. Talk to you soon.